ما عقیده داشتیم برهه حساسی هست در آینده سیاست خارجی آمریکا و معلم من به من گفتش که این رئیس جمهور وظیفه و مسئولیت خطیری داره که این طوفان رو هر چقدر که بتونه به تأخیر بیاندازه.
Because the longer the storm is delayed is to not only America's advantage but is to the advantage of the world.
به خاطر اینکه هر چقدر این طوفان زمان وقوعش به تأخیر بیفته نه تنها به نفع ایالات متحده هست بلکه به نفع تمام دنیاست.
These sanctions are the predicate for a new war.
I do want to, if I may intercede for just a second, we have just sanctioned the Iranian National Bank. That is their central banking system, and it's going to be at the highest level of sanctions. So that just took place, and a couple of other things. We have our Secretary of Treasury here, Steve Mnuchin. If you want to say just a word, Steve, before we begin.
Mr. President, as you instructed me, we are continuing the maximum pressure campaign. This is the last remaining source of funds. So both the Central Bank of Iran, as well as the National Development Fund, which is their sovereign wealth fund, will be cut off from our banking system. So this will mean no more funds going to the ROGC or to fund terror. And this is on top of our oil sanctions and our financial institution sanctions. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. Secretary, Mr. President.
This is very big. We've now cut off all sorts of funds to Iran.
It goes all the way up to the very top.
That does.
To the President.
Right to the top.
A reporter asked my teacher, "Is America going to remain in the Middle East?" And my teacher said, "America is going to come out of the Middle East." And when they asked about war, he said, yes, there would be war.
President Donald Trump took part in a Champion for Coal event at the White House Wednesday night.
Under our leadership, we're becoming a massive energy exporter.
But before giving remarks, sat down with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in the Oval Office amid rising tensions with Iran. The discussions focused on ending their nuclear program. On social media, the commander-in-chief shared that nothing definitive reached, but adds that negotiations with Iran will continue. And it comes as Netanyahu also met with Secretary of State Marco Rubio, signing on as an official member of the Board of Peace that will oversee the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, as the PM called it an unbreakable alliance between Israel and the U.S. It follows Friday's indirect talks in Oman, marking the first official meeting between the two sides since America bombed Iranian nuclear sites last year.
I think it was a good start.
Iran's foreign minister called it a good beginning, as the country celebrated the 47th anniversary of the Islamic Revolution, with their president saying, "We are not seeking nuclear weapons and are ready for any kind of verification." Tonight, the White House is warning Iran that time is running out to reach an agreement. President Trump even threatening to send a second aircraft carrier to the region to put pressure on the regime to make a deal.
And he said bloodshed in this area would be much.
و گفتش که خونریزی در این منطقه از جهان زیاد خواهد بود.
I am begging our president and the government that supports him to be very, very careful, because if the trigger of war in the Middle East is pulled by you using your surrogates at the insistence of Israel, then the war will trigger another kind of war which will bring China, Russia, all of the nations into a war. And it bothers me to say this to you, Mr. President, but the war will end America as you know it. So when these Iranians chant death to America, death to Israel, no chant can bring about your death, but it is your policies that are eroding trust for you in the world, favor for you in the world. And now you're pulling apart, confused. And if you do this, you will bring about not the Iranian chant, you will bring about the death of the greatest nation that has been on this earth in the last 6,000 years. I am a warner to you. I am a friend to America, not an enemy. But if you do not heed the warning and correct your path, death will come.
As many of you know, the minister just returned from Iran. And while he was in Iran, they wickedly twisted his words and put out in the public that he led a chant while he was addressing the students at Tehran University. Death to America. Death to Israel. See, they want to charge him with sedition. They want to portray him as an enemy to America.
جرأت و جسارت رو داشته باشین که حقیقت رو عنوان بکنین که بتونین تغییر ایجاد بکنین.
Next question, please.
سوال بعدی خواهش میکنم. جناب آقای جلالی از پرس تیوی.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. I think it's not working, is it?
I hear you very well, sir.
Thank you very much. I've got a loud voice. So I'm Press TV correspondent Yusuf Jalali. Death to the United States is not a slogan chanted by the Iranian government against the U.S. government or the U.S. people, but it's a slogan chanted by the Iranian people against the American leaders.
I know.
So, and it's not, its roots are not just about the 1979 Islamic Revolution, but it's way back before it. If you turn the pages of history back to 1953, and you clearly mentioned it when the United States reinstated monarchy in Iran, so it's clear that the Iranian people have had a very dark memory about what the United States did back then. So death to the United States is not a slogan chanted by the government. So the United States, if it wants to reimpose sanctions, it's reimposing sanctions against the Iranian people, not
That's
the Iranian
correct.
government. So the Western media outlets, especially the United States media outlets, are accusing you these days of leading death to the United States. I just read a couple of news items about you and how the Western media is accusing you of chanting the death to the United States. I want to ask you this question. Are you willing to chant the slogan of death to the United States? Because you are a person who is living in the United States, and you are a person who is exposed to some of the policies that are done and conducted against you, carried out against you in the United States. The black community is in the United States is humiliated, and you are a black person, and at the same time you're a Muslim, and as you see, Muslims these days are exposed to some of the wrong policies committed by the United States. So would you chant this slogan of
No, I will not do that. I will not do that. I would ask who sent you to ask that question.
That's right.
I see you seem to be one of those who are paid at Press TV to provoke that. That's not my chant. Listen to me.
Not actually.
No, listen to me. You asked me a question.
My question is wrong. Maybe the way I put forward my
Your question is, your question,
Stop.
I heard you.
Stop talking.
I heard you. But I also heard something else about you that I don't like. You want me to chant because they lied on me and said I led a chant. I know that chant came from the people of Iran. And this sanction is what's hurting the people of Iran. They have a right to chant it. But I am not a chanter. I am a worker for God, and the truth will undo falsehood, and the righteous will win against the wicked, not with a chant, but with actual words and deeds. I just don't, I don't like your attitude, man. I don't like that. You know, I have to say this. I'm not just listening to your questions. God is showing me your motives. And I'm addressing with anger your motive. I know the question. I don't like it. Now, I'll take one or two more questions, but if you have not heard me yet, then I'm wasting my time.
And he is back in America to speak that truth. Let us receive the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Imam Mahdi.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
I'm coming home to face whatever you have for me, but I hope you will be ready to face whatever my backers have for you. There's a lot of madness out there now. And most I've seen and heard many on social media desirous of my death. Everybody has to die. But nothing you can say or do will put a death to the man who's speaking to you now. And if you study your scripture and study my work, you'll find that there's not another human being on this earth that speaks like Farrakhan, that challenges like Farrakhan, that has the wisdom of Farrakhan.
رئیس جمهور آمریکا مرتب دارد دروغ به ملت خودش میگه.
The U.S. president is lying perpetually to its own people with America.
ما 1 سال و نیم مذاکره برجام
We
کردیم.
talked for a year and a half with them about the sanctions.
اینا در 1 ساعت رها کردن.
In 1 hour they destroyed all those discussions.
به چنین اشخاصی چه کسی میتونه اطمینان کنه؟
Who can trust such people?
سایر مردم دنیا هم نمیتونن اعتماد
The
کنن.
other people of the world also could not trust them.
کسی که به این راحتی تعهدات خودش رو زیر پا میگذارد قابل اعتماد نیست.
Somebody who tramples what they have promised is not to be trusted.
Some of our government leaders
بعضی از رهبران ما
want to make peace with America,
میخوان با آمریکا صلح برقرار کنند.
unfortunately at the expense
متاسفانه
of Iran.
با هزینه مردم ایران.
You cannot call America the great Satan
شما نمیتونید به آمریکا بگی شیطان بزرگ
and then sit down with Satan
و بعد بشینید با شیطان
thinking Satan is going to make peace with you.
فکر بکنید شیطان میتونه با شما صلح برقرار کنه.
He was a liar from the beginning,
اون از اول دروغگو بود.
and he's a liar and a mischief maker now. And I will guarantee you, if he becomes president, he'll take America exactly where America is heading. Be careful, America. You're headed into the abyss of hell. And if you make a mistake in choosing your leaders, maybe you'll go there faster.